If the CCP tells ByteDance to turn over all data that TikTok has collected inside the US, do they have to do so?
Congressman, first, I'm Singaporean.
Welcome back to episode 27 of the BagHolder Pod. So with me today, it's Kelvin, Bunty, Eric, and myself, Chiking. So as always, remember to smash that cute little like button so that it gives us more motivation to continue on. Anyway, I think in today's video specifically, we're just going to talk about a very, very interesting phenomenon that essentially just happened and shook the world. So for those of you who are not on TikTok yet, I'm not too sure why you're not on TikTok. They have like 150 million US users. I mean, there's been a point that was driven home during the Congress hearing. But anyway, I think we just wanted to expound our thoughts because four of us, we are currently living in Singapore. There are 3 Singaporeans in the call, and I think some of us are quite proud to be called a Singaporean or even be working in Singapore. So maybe I'll just pass the time over to Bunty to share maybe your thoughts on the entire Congress hearing, and are there any questions or opinions that you want to share?
I know some of you have watched the hearing, the entire session. Some of you, maybe you just went onto TikTok and look at some small clips, short clips, right? Just want to know which part is the most funny part to you.
As a programmer, all of these questions are legit. It's like I've seen this kind of questions asked by me. I mean, my boss have asked me this kind of questions before, so I'm used to this kind of questions already. And I understand why they are trying to ask those kind of questions. Like for example, that Wi-Fi is TikTok can TikTok connect to the Wi-Fi? I think it's trying to lead into another question that is that whether TikTok is trying to access other devices on the Wi-Fi . So it's like I'm 见怪不怪 . These kind of questions are like, it sounds dumb but I think there are motivations behind those kind of questions.
Eric, wow, nice background.
Nice, support local. No, I find some of their questions a bit funny. Like they'll ask something, then they say it's a yes or no answer. Then he'll try to explain, okay, because of all these things, then there's it's a yes or no answer. Like a little bit like they're trying to trap him into saying something. So I don't know. I just find it if you watch the thing right through any length of time, right, I don't know whether you guys feel triggered or not. I feel quite angry, Sometimes like they're just asking questions that cannot be answered on. Like, how does blue color smell? What? Sorry, I'm not sure whether I understood your question. Yes or no answer. Is blue color smelly? Yes or no? It's like keep asking
Say
this
yes.
kind of...
But actually, you feel angry, is it because he was a fellow Singaporean? Like, was that one of the contributing factor?
Not really. It's not really like he the identity, the citizenship, where he's from, but rather the is there such a word? Idiotic question. I will
But
always.
do you watch those congressional hearings with like Tim Cook or like Mark Zuckerberg? Do you watch those?
I watched Mark Zuckerberg one.
Right.
Okay, Mark Zuckerberg one, I think it was the Cambridge Analytical kind of scandal, right? So they summoned him to the Congress. They also asked a lot of this kind of question, but they were not so how do you put it? They were not so angsty. Like this hearing, they keep saying, it's the CCP, it's the CCP. Are you gonna sell our souls to the CCP? Like, how is he supposed to answer that? Like, I mean, he the parent company is from China. What do you want him to say? Like, no, I don't care about them. Like, so you ask them, like, are you using the same legal team as the ByteDance? Then he say yes, using. Yeah, you see, using the same team. I don't know what they're so happy about. Like, obviously they will share resources, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't feel it very funny. I just felt very triggered.
Yeah. I think same for me as well. I think their attitudes is really like cannot make it. It's like I don't think it's because we support of like Singaporean, that's why we feel angry. For me, I felt angry when, let's say, someone tried to explain and the person asking questions just doesn't like don't give chance at all. It's like after I say something, then you disagree. I take it as a yes. I take it as a no. I just make up my own story. Okay, next we move on. Like the type of attitude that don't want to listen. So it's like, wow, how can it be? But then from their perspective, I think I think in this case, right, it's quite special in the sense of it's not really like they try to get information from him. So they already made up their mind that, okay, TikTok is, for whatever reasons, could be related to China. You can say it's because it's bad for children. Whatever it is, you can list down the reasons. But the conclusion is that they want to ban TikTok. So now just let's everyone put up a good show, and then so that we all, you see, we all shows that we all think that alike, all of us think that TikTok has to be banned. So it's like a way to explain to the public that this one has to be done, So they are just putting up a show.
Actually, if I can offer a different opinion, right? Like I was thinking, because I was looking at it from a very skeptical lens, from his perspective, meaning from show's perspective, the Singaporean dude. He's an incredible guy. He's like damn young. He's like 40 years old or something. And he's not your typical Singaporean, because he went to Hwa Chong. He went to, I think, one of the UK top institutions, and then he went to Harvard to do an MBA. So he's not necessarily representative of being a Singaporean, other than his accent, or maybe he sounds a little bit different, like compared to Americans. But then from his perspective, I think it's a very good strategy move. Meaning he's actually not there to defend the company. Like, because I feel, let's say I'm Mark Zuckerberg, or if let's say I'm the CEO of TikTok or whatever, if I'm gonna go there, I'm not gonna make the Congress people look bad. Because if I make them look bad, it basically stonewalls any further discussion next time. Because so the easiest way to kind of not make them look bad while making TikTok look responsible is maybe I'll take this back and go and discuss with the team or something like that, something along those lines. So by him kind of creating the atmosphere where after this whole thing, he basically became a superstar because he was very good in his performance and stuff like that. It kind of skyrocketed his brand equity, meaning his personal brand equity. Meaning today, if he get fired from TikTok as the CEO, he can launch back into something else, probably bigger and better. I mean, that's just my skeptical perspective. And he was there to essentially build his own brand equity and not really to defend TikTok. So that was one of the things. It was a world-class performance for people that wants to learn. I think there's a lot of things they can learn from how he speaks, how he articulates, how he thinks and stuff. But yeah, it feels very much like the personal agenda wise feels a lot bigger than trying to protect or help the company, because we already know that the objective of the thing wasn't to get information. They already have made up their mind. They want to paint a certain picture and narrative. So actually your job there is to kind of, I guess, defend as much as you can and don't really create more tension. But it feels like he created like a few very hot clips that went very viral on TikTok and YouTube and whatever. And yeah, I don't really know what his intentions were. Maybe was really out of the goodness of his heart. But yes, that's just my very more contrarian side of thinking how this played out.
Yeah.
I think I would clap back at that. I think he's not one, I feel he's not one that he is looking to build his personal brand. If he had, right, he would have more than 20, like what was his initial? I think 24,000, some very small number. For a CEO of TikTok, right, you kind of expect him to have a huge following, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg, when he went to the Congress hearing, I think he's already have a lot of people following him. I mean, same thing with Elon Musk, right? These people who own the platform, the CEO of social media company, you don't expect their following to be less than 1 million. Definitely. Like his platform is like 150 million. He got 24,000 following. I don't know if he had any intention of building his brand equity. I don't think he would have waited until Congress hearing. And I don't know about you. I definitely don't foresee like I think on hindsight we all say that, wow, this is a 4D chess move. I honestly I doubt this is he purposefully made this move.
But he definitely trained for it though.
He definitely trained.
It's all trained. Everything he says is trained.
Yeah, correct. He had a whole team that's backing him up, because he I think during the hearing he said what we had a team to prepare me for this very important hearing. So he does view it as very important. He got a team and they prepared for it. That much is true lah, but I don't think he wanted to. I don't think he could have foreseen the way he blew up. Yeah,
I would disagree on that, because I think in terms of this kind of preparation wise, right, like there is already a strategy, there is a way of crafting how you should reply, and which is why it feels like there is the kind of optics that they wanted to create. it was kind of to win people rather than to win politics. Meaning win people, meaning garner the support of the people, so that the 150 million people that are on your platform will go and tell the people that are in law to wake up their idea and not ban the platform. I don't know. That was my process on what I think their strategy was.
Yeah, just build on top of that, right? My next question is, do you think that's the right strategy? Because essentially when they are caught, like they know that they're going to get banned, right? Should he focus on convincing the politicians not to ban TikTok? Or should he actually like forget about the politicians? Let's target the peoples, the 150 million user, whatever. So is that the right strategy? Do you think that he made the right move?
Hey guys, do you know what's a good broker to buy stocks?
Oh, I know, you can use Moomoo.
Why?
A few reasons. Moomoo got low commission, so you save a lot on trading fees.
Not only that, they also let you easily keep track of the company's news and announcements.
Oh yeah, they also let you easily analyze companies from both the technicals and fundamentals to help you make better decisions when investing in company.
Wow, so good. But they got give sign up rewards or not? Or any sign up gifts or not?
Got. For the first reward, when you deposit $100, you get $2 cashback for daily for 10 days.
And for the second reward, deposit 2K and perform 2 buy trades to get a free Coca-Cola stock worth $80.
And the ultimate reward, deposit 10K and perform 7 buy trades to get a $108 cash coupon.
Wow, so good. So if you're interested, you can always sign up with the link below. And as always, thank you, Moomoo, for sponsoring this video.
Actually, first things first, do you even think that they will really ban TikTok? I want to hear Kevin's point. Do you really think that they'll ban? Like, this one is for show, or really will sooner or later?
They will ban, right? Since the start of this year, there were already talks of this Project Texas. Basically, Project Texas is trying to store TikTok's data in US instead of in China. So this thing, I think it has been going on for a long time already. So I think they are very serious about trying to ban TikTok because it's a real security concern. Back then, this whole Facebook Cambridge Analytica thing, it sort of helped Brexit situation, and it sort of helped Trump with his election. So if you imagine this TikTok to be it has a real potential to be a security thing for US. Because you can say that, China doesn't have connection to TikTok right now. But if China wants TikTok to give the data over, TikTok will have to definitely give already. Otherwise, they will just come with another fine and go and make TikTok or just nationalize TikTok or whatever. So this is a real thing. And TikTok, ByteDance want to avoid that at all costs. So they are trying to separate it out to go into to store the data in US law.
Yeah, I think I agree with Kelvin also on this. But to me, the security part, there are many parts, but I would say that I don't think China want that data. China, they have like don't know how many billion of people. They just want to take care of their own stuff. They don't really care about like US population that much, unless those that is related to their economy and on their peoples. So they don't care about that data. But at least one thing, right? If whoever control TikTok, they have the power is to change the perception. Say for example, like Ukraine, Russia war. Actually, just using all these social media, you can kind of like shape the public perceptions of what's happening, because people actually use all these platforms to get information. So you can shape that depending on how you change the narrative and so on, right? Just play around with the algo. So I think definitely they have that power. Whether they are using that or not is a question mark.
Back then I saw a news that China was helping a lot of developing nations to build their infrastructure, right? So a while ago they were helping this African Union to build their building. Then later the people, I think it was one of the UN building in Africa, something like that. Then they later found out that China installed some bugs or like listening devices to spy on them. Then China definitely they denied. So I think on the underlying, China is definitely trying to spy on their neighbors. Don't know, is it sensitive to talk about this or not?
Alvin, do you really think other developed countries are not doing the same? Like your US, UK, your Europe, all very clean? Like they don't engage in this sort of activities?
I think they are definitely doing this lah. So there's definitely some Cold War going on sort of lah. It's just that China and US that whole tension is there lor. That's why this whole TikTok thing is going on.
Oh yeah, there was this. I don't know whether you guys have seen this TikTok video. There was this senator or somebody in their Congress, right? He actually recently started making videos explaining why they had to like clamp down on TikTok. So he says that previously they also have some China company also pose a security threat, and US also clamped down hard on them. And then they say that the China company basically just okay, and then they sold out the company to US. So they say that this time round, they are applying the same strategy. It's a concern for national security, so they just want the ownership to be like from US. So that's their point of view lah.
But you think it will happen? I don't think it will happen though. Like
I
they're
think
not gonna sell TikTok.
I think TikTok might be like just too big to be like sold out just like that.
So meaning it will become like a special structure or something innovative that comes out of this.
I don't know. I thought TikTok was banned like 2 years ago. Like I thought I heard something along that line.
Which
They
country?
threatened to ban.
India.
Threatened, but never really banned.
But India, I think really banned.
Banned already.
In India is quite far. I mean, India also banned a few of the games from some of the Chinese companies also. So
Yeah.
they've been quite effective in instilling this kind of firewalls. But back to the general question again on, do you think they will really ban TikTok like the US? I'm not talking about other countries. I think Kelvin provided his perspective. Eric and Bunti haven't.
I said already, I think they will.
They will ban.
Because of the power to shape perspective. Another example is the train that derailed, so now suddenly if you just follow US, let's say, media, right, you won't know about it because they are covering that with the UFO flying and so on, right? But now you cannot cover it because TikTok keeps showing that, so these kind of things you have no control. And remember, there's one sentence that Mr. Chiu said during the hearing. He said TikTok will not take down like video as requested by any government.
That time is still out.
TikTok is not controlled by any government. I think that's the part that US people hate the most, because they actually want TikTok to be controlled by government, just that their government, not other government. But now they say they are not under control. It's like really opposing them already.
Then Eric, do you think it will be banned?
I hope not. I don't know. Like I think it's not a good trend to start. Like all the countries getting nationalistic, and then
First time?
Yeah lah. I mean, like China ban US, US ban China, India ban China, India ban US, US ban India, and then everybody ban everybody. Then do you know that the things like nowadays are getting very expensive, and the inflation is going through the roof, and it's because of all this ban here, ban there. Then nobody can exchange any goods and service. Then wow, everything is going crazy. Yeah, so I think we are gonna reap the bad fruits if this carries on.
Okay, so you said you have answered that, right? The next question is, should US ban them?
No, they should embrace TikTok.
Or you think US shouldn't? Okay, what about Chicken and Kelvin?
Yeah, I think they should embrace them. Like just now Eric was mentioning about that politician. Her name was, very hard to say, Alessandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's also on the side that AOC the girl. She also on the side that believe that TikTok shouldn't be banned. So I think banning, we all know what happens when the government go and ban stuff like Singapore go and ban chewing gum and ban vaping. Did it really disappear from Singapore? Not really, right? People still find a way to go around it. So you ban it, I will just promote the VPN to let you sign up to just bypass it. So I think banning is a bad way. Instead, they should let the project taxes go through, then at least they are able to control their own data, and probably even use it. So I think they'll have a better use compared to just banning outright.
But what about the narrative? Even if you can keep the data in Texas, right? Then like Bunti say, right, the narrative they want to control, and then TikTok say we cannot be controlled, and then they want to control. Then how?
I
One
think it's
wanna
about the idea that the data is not with China. So that's what they are worried about now. If they really want to ban stuff, right? Facebook and Instagram and all the rest will have already been banned
Yeah,
long
lor.
time ago.
Do you
No,
think
no,
the
no, no,
US
no.
government have control on
Yeah,
Instagram,
Facebook
Twitter?
is under US control. They actually, I think they influence the algorithms.
I think it's a lot more complicated than that.
You have like, as in that's a fact or that's an opinion?
That is an
Confirm.
opinion.
Okay.
That is an
Understand.
opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more complicated because it's not like the government control them directly. So it's more like because for let's say like Facebook, Instagram, in order to survive, they still need to depend on advertiser, and advertiser will request certain thing, and of course regulator will expect certain thing. So they are all like, you know, together like media, right? It's not like one media company is controlled by the government directly. It's more like they all you know like 一起来 pakat, you know, so they do the same thing and they can change your perception. But so it's a form of control, but not like direct control. So it's very different.
You all remember during the COVID times, right, where they actually, I think there was this case where somebody said that the Facebook, either Facebook or Twitter or whatever, they actually censored like doctors' opinions. Yeah, I
I
think
think it's on Twitter. It's in the Twitter files. I
yeah,
think
basically they say that it was at the request from the government official.
yeah.
I read
The
it somewhere, I
Democrats,
can't remember.
the
Twitter,
left. Yeah, it's on the left.
yeah,
So some people on the left went to censor some of the doctors.
yeah, so I think it was at some hearing or so. Then they say like, oh, so are you a doctor? Then the Twitter employee like, no, I'm not a doctor. Yeah, you're not a doctor, huh? Oh, okay. But then how come you so knowledgeable you can censor off a medical doctor's opinion? Then they like, don't know what to say. So I think that's where I form my opinion that actually government, they actually put in their request, the US government, and the kind of the social media company kind of had to like follow lah. If they don't abide, right, then I don't know, something bad will happen.
Means on that note, but I would like to believe that Elon would remain true to what he said when he took over Twitter. So I would presume that he's quite independent of the government compared to previously.
His overarching principle, right, is always like, is this for the good of humanity lah, of mankind? That's his bottom line. So if the government requests something from him, then he think it through. This is actually good for the future of mankind. He probably will say okay also. But if he feels that it impinge on like whatever lah, yeah, freedom of speech or whatever not, then he'll probably like, screw you. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Elon.
Right. I think to answer, I think I haven't answered yet on whether should or should not ban TikTok. Actually, my concern is not really on should or should not ban. I think every government of the day of any country has that autonomy and authority because it's absconded or it's like through the will of the people, whether is it through elections or not elections, you can do whatever you want to. I would believe that most kind of systems are kind of self-cleansing. Sooner or later, if the system is lousy, people are gonna like revoke I don't know, a rebellion, and then whole system will crack and break and stuff. But I think my bigger issue that I take with is because every time they like to cite national security, and it's not the first time. I mean, not only the US, by the way, China is the same. Like all of them like to invoke national security. When you do this kind of thing, I'll just like to say that you'll be more concerned around the idea of being like having double standards. So when you try to invoke national security, you don't go around and point to other people and say that, oh, you guys cannot do X, Y, and Z because something else. So I would just say that I'm more concerning when especially when you take moral high ground, then you start pointing fingers at other people, and then you yourself do the same thing, and then you ban other people as well. But that's the first point. Second point is, I think on the innovation front, this point was discussed, like, I think by Eric or by Bunti previously. So when you try to stifle this kind of issues, your companies start to get bloated, people start to get complacent. Facebook, if if TikTok didn't come in, Reels wouldn't be a thing. Shorts probably wouldn't be such a hot thing as well. So then it kind of let everybody complacent, and then things might spiral out of control. So that's just my two main idea. But yes, if there's a choice, then I would think not to ban. But that's up to the US people and US government to decide.
But then China also banned Facebook and
They didn't ban. That's fake news. So what they do is they actually technically, according to your logic, right, they also ban TikTok. So what China want is they want a separate app. Meaning, for example, if you want Facebook, right, Facebook can come into China, but they need to create another app to go into China. And that app, it has special requirements, there are different regulations. So the issue was because they didn't want to create a separate app. So that's why they didn't go into China. So that's the key difference and nuance there. It's not that they didn't allow them to go in.
oh, so Google also same thing lah.
Yeah, but and then of course if you want to go in, then they need a golden share and whatever BS lah, because it's China ma, they will hold a veto right on most or all media companies. So then it's up to you on whether you want to accept that regulation and that specific restriction or not. But yeah, from what I read, if I'm not wrong, they did allow. It's just that they didn't want to create a new one, and then they need to create a special structure. The company needs to be abiding to the governments and officials and whatever. So that was the difference. So which is why you see in Douyin and TikTok, right? Douyin is in China, TikTok is in the US. They don't use the same app and they don't run the same thing because they need separate teams, they need separate functions, they need separate strategy. I hope I answered that part.
Thanks, Shiking.
No, I just happened to read it somewhere. That's what I initially thought also, that they banned Facebook. So
Yeah.
I wanted to But anyway, I think on this topic also, we kind of skipped one of the question just now on Bunti asking whether is this the correct strategy or not? Like what Mr. Shou did for the Congress hearing, was it a right strategy to make the people look, or to make some of them look silly and to be so pointed in your answers?
Yeah, I think if I don't think that's his intention to make, to appeal to the mass, like peoples instead of like the politicians. But at least that's the results now. But I do think that if the Congress peoples, they want to ban them, right, they will make it work. So that's how it works. Congress is very powerful. Yeah. So I think if bad strategy, I would say that.
But even if Congress wants to make it work, the president can veto it, right?
I don't know the details, but Congress
Okay.
is very powerful.
Okay, understand. Then
Wow,
maybe
but-
just
But TikTok is like 150 million, like half the
that's half the
country.
population.
Yeah, half the population is using TikTok, and then like if Biden go and veto
No.
and then ban the thing, right? I
Because-
think
No, Biden should veto to not ban the thing. Like Congress wants to ban it, Biden veto to not ban.
wow, then
Won't-
he'll be the
won't happen
hero
Then
leh.
he'll win 2020.
Yeah, he'll win 2024 or 25.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
For example, if they ban, right, I don't think people will, like Paris people go and riot or whatever. I don't think that will happen. But the thing is, TikTok, they will go to the court and then to appeal. So that one court will decide. But assuming that Congress already made the decisions, I don't think court will think differently. That's my feel. So that they always can say that national security is more important than, freedom and so on, freedom of speech. So
Is it
yeah.
really?
it happened in the past one. Yeah. I don't know this round how it will turn out. It's just that it can be, some priority can take one priority above the other. It can
Actually, it
happen like
depends. Depends on like
that.
whether or not TikTok does something to mitigate this so-called perceived threat. Yeah, if they do that, then they have a case to fight.
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe just to kind of round up the entire discussion, right? Maybe if you all have any lessons or things that you can take away from this entire Congress hearing.
My takeaway is I regretted I never go Hwa Chong.
Oh, same. I could have known him too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. He
consider-
could have been my junior.
Oh, is it? Okay.
No lah, but I don't think I'll meet him. I'm like 4 years older than him. 算了。
Okay. What about Kelvin?
My takeaway, I think even though the senators look stupid, I think their concerns are real. And I believe that TikTok will eventually do the right thing. which is to appease everyone. Appease US, appease TikTok boss, appease China. I think this will be the final conclusion. No?
Okay, then maybe my last takeaway is I'll use it in Chinese. 人长得好看就是不一样. No lah, joking. Just to translate it to English, it's different when you look good. Yeah. No lah, I mean he kind of blew up in China as well. So for those of you who don't know, I was scrolling on like Douyin and stuff like that. A lot of people were hyping him up. Like he was saying that he was like, I don't know lah, some savior or some shit, because he also looked pretty decent. And he was basically a savior that came from Singapore. I think it was along those lines, which I kind of laughed quite hard. But anyway, I think hope you guys enjoyed this discussion, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Can you tell me right now, can you say with 100% certainty that TikTok does not use the phone's camera to determine whether the content that elicits a pupil dilation should be amplified by the algorithm? Can you tell me that?
We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not. The only face data that you get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are. And
why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial. Again, we do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users.
I find that hard to believe. It's our understanding that they're looking at the eyes. How do you determine what age they are then?
We rely on age gating as our key age assurance.
Age
gating, which is when you ask the user what age they are. We have also developed some tools where we look at their public profile to go through the videos that they post to see whether...
Well, that's creepy. Tell me more about that.
It's public. So if you post a video, you choose that video to go public, that's how you get people to see your video. We look at those to see if it matches up the age that you talked about.